And Kevin Mubadi, who is the national chairman of the Boda Association of Kenya, is our guest. Kevin, karibu sana.
Asante sana.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Are you a Boda rider or do you own Bodas?
I own Boda. I was a Boda rider.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many associations of Bodas do we have?
Okay, we have several small associations at the county levels, at the sub-county level. We have others at the ward level. We have CBOs, we have SACCOs. So we have all this, but now we have the one national umbrella that carries all of them together.
Karibu.
Asante.
It's good to have you. It's good to have a chairman of an umbrella body here with us in the studio. Good girl Jano is going to give you a quote just for you to trigger your mind and think about what's happening in the country. So listen to the quotable quote by good girl Jano, and let's see what happened there.
Okay. Yeah, we'll take it really quickly. This is the person who said this is the lead singer of one of the most famous bands from Kenya, but in Africa and global. Just think, Sura yako nzuri mama. Right. But it says, be a child, be a student, just be patient. And he said this with regards to success. How do you get there? Be a child, be a student, just be patient. Who said that? Nani alisema?
You can see him.
Bien.
There we go. He said that. He said that in an interview.
Make it too easy.
We had to. He said that in an interview not too long ago, but I love it. It just says be patient.
Be patient.
Be a child,
true.
be a student.
Just be patient.
Even for us, for our organization to grow, to reach where it is and be recognized by the government, it took us 6 years.
Okay.
For the government to realize there is something happening here. 6 years.
Right. And what was the final thing that made it
The final
possible?
thing, I remember there's a day, the advisor I had planned a meeting in Nyamira of 6,000 people at Nyamira Primary School. So one of the CS Matiang's advisor, who was the Minister for Internal Security, asked the CS, you are seated here and this guy has planned a meeting at your home place. Then he asked me, who? Kevin, the chairman for Boda. Then Matiangi said, okay, I want to see him on Thursday at 10 a.m. And you see, I really wish to work with him and talk to him and tell him what I was doing for the last 6 years, from 2014 to 2020. I was working, we were going to the ground, bringing together Boda riders, sensitizing them with the police, the county commissioners and all those, and the TSA, but nobody was seeing the real thing from the high office. So my dream was, one day I really want to meet this guy and show him what we are doing when he became the Minister for Internal Security. So when he heard that I was going there and I had brought together almost 6,000 people, even the photos are on our Facebook page, you can check. And he said, okay, I want to see him on Thursday, 10 a.m. So the guy called me, FM want to see you on Thursday, 10 a.m. I asked him, is it FM himself or these other guys? Then he said, Fred Bachangi himself. So by 8 a.m. I was in his office, in the boardroom waiting, connected everything. So when they came at 10 a.m. sharp, I took them through our profile, what I have been doing and everything. Then I told them, Bwana Waziri, all these good things you see, I've been doing them on the street. We don't have an office, we don't have anything. Then he said, very good, I'm happy to see this. So, George, make sure Kevin has an office. Waziri Musheru, make sure Kevin's office has the internet and so on. So that is the turning point of everything. And we went to Nyamira, we had our meeting, it was aired live on TV, and that was the turning point of our organization.
Be patient.
Be patient for 6 years.
Be patient.
And yesterday we hosted a national summit where we brought together all the Boda chairs from all the 47 counties in Nairobi.
Boda has very, very many positive stories.
Yes.
Boda has very, very many negative stories.
Yes.
Positive in terms of what Jano you're talking about earlier, last mile connectivity. People are now able just to move. It has helped e-commerce grow in this country, and so on and so forth. Negative, number 1, deaths.
Yes.
Number 2, permanent injuries. Number 3, injuries. Number 4, insecurity.
Lawlessness.
All these things. And that's why, I guess, the Senator for Kakamega, Boni Halwale, introduced this bill in the Senate. Let's listen to him when he was presenting the bill.
The person shall not operate a motorcycle unless they have successfully completed a training course approved by the board. Every owner of a motorcycle operating for commercial purposes shall not cause or permit any person to ride their motorcycle unless such a person is the holder of a valid driving license or a valid professional license, a provisional license endorsed in respect of that class of cycles and a valid employment contract. This law also gives responsibilities to riders, which include every rider must have a valid driving license issued by the authority, have a certificate of registration issued by the board, have a certificate and ensure that they shall not ride or carry person on a motorcycle without the prescribed protective gear as described above. And those gear should not just be carried on the arm as some of them do. The helmet should actually be fastened on the head.
Usibebe helmet kwa mkono uko boda boda. The helmet. It's a good thing that we see this bill. I'm just wondering why we need this bill. Do you
What do you mean, why?
Well, yeah, isn't it about emphasizing on regulations?
There are
these
no
regulations
laws already,
existing?
and
Okay.
Kevin, you'll come and answer. Right now, before this bill becomes law, are you saying that there is no law?
There's law.
Okay, what does
There's
the
the
law say?
NTSA regulation 2014, and it carries almost everything that is there. But you see where we have it. Okay, it is good to follow the law and work within the law, but the contentious areas that came with this bill, the fines that are there. Even the Boda rider don't have enough money. They live on hand to mouth. So when you find someone like that 100,000 shillings for a mistake, which he might not commit, but the police might say he has committed, because it is happening even now. You find a police officer arrests you, then he says you don't have insurance, yet you have it. Sometimes he say, okay, you are not putting on a helmet. Like I handled another issue. The guy has all the two helmets. He was wearing a helmet, but an officer arrested him. Asked for 2,000. The guy didn't have even a cent. It was 8 a.m. in the morning. Then he said he was not putting on a helmet. So I had to follow it up from the higher offices before that rider was released. So you see, when you bring such like penalties, 20,000, 100,000. Yet we have other guys are rotting at industrial area remand just because of 5,000 fine, 10,000 fine. It's ridiculous. And that's why you are saying what the bill is good, but we were not involved so that we can put in our views. For example, he said you should not carry a luggage of more than 50 kgs. How many kgs are you?
I'm not luggage. I'm pillion passenger.
You are a pillion passenger, but
I'm not going to carry a focus meeting.
yeah, but okay, let's say, for example, our people depend, they don't only carry passengers, they depend on carrying luggages, food from the farms, that cement that he has to carry.
Yeah, carry one bag.
No, but how will you measure?
One bag is already
for example, you are carrying maize. Someone tells you, come and carry for me this maize. You have to carry that maize. How will you measure that this maize is 50 kg or this is 51 kg or 52? So you'll be arrested just because the officer might say you are carrying 55 kgs. How will you prove that it is not 55 kgs? Yet there's no measurement, measuring machines everywhere on our roads. So it's a big challenge. Those are things that we said. Maybe he meant to say, he will have said, don't carry a luggage that is more than 3 meters. He will have talked about the length, but not the weight.
The weight, yeah.
Because even the cars, you look at the cars on our roads, how many kgs is one car on
Mariam,
on
you're
the
not
road?
convinced.
The weight,
really
the weight
not.
on a vehicle is specified. Tare weight, X number of kilograms.
Yes.
The weight on a motorbike is also specified by the manufacturer.
Yes.
How much weight this motorcycle can carry.
But does it say 50
Ukibeba
kg?
gunia 5 za
Hawezi
90
beba
kg ama ng'ombe 2 na kuku moja.
But Kevin, I
Zingine
think,
ziko nyuma,
I,
zingine ziko mbele.
and I think all this is stemming from the fact that, yes, you've mentioned that there's laws that exist. Why do we need a bill? But why does the lawlessness persist? Maybe let's start there.
Okay, I think when the motorcycle business started in Kenya, people thought it started with a bicycle. So with a bicycle, you could do any time where you want. You could ride without the driving licenses and sensitization and trading. So when we evolved to motorcycle, the government relaxed. They thought it is just the same bicycle that it is, where you can just fall down, wipe up yourself, and go. But with the motorcycle now, it is motorized, and the speed is almost 100 plus kilometers per hour. When you fall, you just die, or you get injured badly. So by the time the government was realizing, oh, people are dying, this is something need to be regulated, it was too late. We were almost at 800,000 because the law came into 2014. And 2013, that's when the government started realizing, oh, these people need to go to the driving school. But remember, we already have 800,000 people in the market across the country where there's no, for example, most of the people who do this business are in the villages. There's no driving school. There's nobody who can tell you this is right, this is wrong. So it is upon you yourself to wake up, go do your business, come back home. So people had been used to this. By the time the government started reversing this issue to go get these people trained, so many people are in the market. So it is a difficult task to try and train these people. So what is needed is just sensitization, because these people lack knowledge. You know, knowledge is power. So if someone doesn't tell you this is good, this is bad, you won't know. So people do things, others do things because they don't know. Others do because, very few do because they know, but they just ignore.
But you know, now when this gap exists, it's of course, it's costing us quite a bit. It's costing lives, unfortunately. It's causing injuries from an economic perspective as well. There's so much that's happening. So why not have this bill come so that we can curtail the lawlessness in the industry, and then people will find their way into the system. They'll go to the driving schools, they'll get the licenses, they'll figure out how to operate, you know, between certain times or to carry this many kgs. I don't think this is a situation where the regulation can wait for the industry to catch up because it's costing lives.
Remember, there's already all those existing laws are there. But implementation is the challenge. How are you going to arrest a Boda rider who is on the road? Because even the traffic police cannot. It's very difficult for them to do that.
Why?
Because Boda is a slippery thing. When he sees you, he just makes a U-turn and goes. So it is about self-discipline and self-regulation. It is more of self-regulation than putting other agencies to monitor. Because through the organization, you have been able to do self-regulation, sensitization, and I think at the moment, when you get an accident with the Boda, you have seen, you are not reporting so many issues of where riders are burning people's cars, riders are beating people. When you look at from what was happening in 2013, 2014, 2015, with right now 2025, there's no many incidences like that.
Yeah, but
why?
But shouldn't it be a combination of both, Kevin? Don't you think it should be, yes, part of it is self-regulation, but also oversight? And isn't there an advantage to making sure that these things like IDs and the training and all of these combined with self-regulation, isn't that more of an advantage if you have both of them working?
It is an advantage, and the bill is okay. But most of the bill's part is okay. There are some few areas that are really bad, and that is issues of penalties that are being involved, issues of weight that is bringing challenge, then issues of a governor nominating someone to be on that board, the chair of the board. You see, when the governor starts being involved in this thing, the governor will use the political issues. For example, we have the leadership of the counties. The county chairman should be the one who is sitting in that board. But you campaign for him, and I campaign for her, then she won, and he lost. Do you think she will pick you and you are the right chairman? No. She can't. So we thought that issue should be left to the county commissioner because they're non-political and they know whom they work with. So the county commissioners should be able to select the people who will be in the board. And also, we as an organization, we can second the person that we know this is the right person to be in that board.
Whew. There's a lot to discuss as far as the safety aspect, as far as who gets to say what in regards to the regulation and even at county levels and all of that. But my question is, within your own organization, as you know, the chairperson, right? What push has there been to have these things enforced without now the oversight? Because you talk about self-regulation, right? So how far has the self-regulation gotten us?
What we did, first of all, is to bring in the structures, where we started by having the national leadership, the county leadership, sub-county, ward, up to stage level. Right now, when you go in every stage, you will find that there is a leader there. So we are trying to work with the police because the police are the people who are closer to these guys, and that is where the law starts. So we are working with the police in sensitization. And yesterday in our meeting, the regional commander for Nairobi said that Mr. Seda, he's going to, by himself, he'll be going down there. We organize for the meetings. He brings in police officers. We bring in the riders so that we can talk to each other and sensitize each other and see how we can work together. One, on matter security. Number two, on matter safety when we are operating on our roads.
Yeah. Shortly, we're going to play some clips here, some sound bites. We went to the across the country and we asked Boda operators what challenges they face. We'll be playing that, but after the break. I personally have issues with the bill. I do not see why we need to have this bill. We have problems in the public transport sector, in the Boda sector. We have laws that already bring the Boda under the ambit of the law, right? And those have challenges of implementation and enforcement. Now, I think we should be working on asking ourselves, how can we enforce and better implement those instead of now moving like the regulation. This bill is proposing, and here is part 2 of the bill, and Jack, so you can put it up. Section 4 of the bill says the county executive committee member shall be responsible for the regulation, management, and coordination of all matters relating to the motorcycle transport sector within the county. And this is what Kevin is talking about. Why are we bringing in the political office into regulating the Bodas in that county? So we are saying that Kajiado Boda shall behave this way, and then you come to neighboring Machakos Boda, which behave this way. Going to neighboring Makueni, they behave this way. Coming to neighboring Nairobi, they behave this way, because each of them is being regulated by a different entity. We have the National Transport and Safety Authority that regulates the public sector in the country.
Right.
Why? I have an issue with this.
So maybe he introduced it because he thought, to play devil's advocate, well, the others don't seem to be working. The enforcement is delayed. It's not working. Let me introduce something that I think will be more stringent, will be a lot more,
and more local.
It's like devolving.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Okay.
Right, because from an oversight perspective, the National Transport and Safety Authority is just here.
No. They have branches all over the country.
Of course they have branches, but
I'm
talking about it from how much they can actually do, right? How many Boda riders are registered under your association, for example,
we have
right
almost
now?
2 million riders.
Almost 2 million riders. You know the NTSA does not have the capacity to oversight all of that.
And that's why we are there to support.
But you can't regulate yourself. That's the thing. You can't oversight yourself. Now the question is, what's the in between? You can push and you can make sure that your systems work, and there's of course a certain amount of discipline and following the law, and you advocate for one another. But oversight still has to be from the NTSA.
Yes. And enforcement by the police.
The
Let's take a break.
Okay.
There's the police. Please don't forget. It's 7:30. We are having a conversation about the Boda sector, the Boda industry in this country. The chairperson of the National Boda Association of Kenya, Kevin Mubadi, is our guest. There's a bill in Parliament in the Senate introduced by the Kakamega Senator, Boni Khalwale, and that's what we're discussing, plus the challenges in the sector. How do we make it work? We'll be back shortly. Don't go away. So our conversation continues, Boda and the Boda safety in the country. Remember, in the next hour, we'll be having a director of safety at NTSA who will come and join us. But for now, we've got a call on the line. Francis in Embakasi would like to contribute to this conversation. Francis, good morning.
Morning to you.
Asante sana for calling in. Now, Boda safety law. Haya, changia.
Asante sana, nimeshukuru. Na ongea tu na Kiswahili.
Tuendelee tafadhali.
Sasa mimi ni mzee. Lakini natembeaga na ninaangalia mambo ya boda kwa sababu unajua mingi ziko na watoto wetu. Sasa hakuna tangu boda zianze kuingia katika nchi hii after President Kibaki, wakati alifanya ile kuleta ile mambo ya biashara huru, zikakuwa mingi na zimetengeneza uchumi ikakuwa mzuri. Lakini hakuna kitu hakina ubaya na uzuri. Sasa kitu ya kwanza nimeshukuru huyu kijana anaitwa Kevin, lakini ningetaka ajue ile mambo hawezi jua. Na hii mambo ni mojawapo ya kuwa hizi bodaboda zimelete kitu inaitwa makelele mingi katika nchi hii 47 county. Na ni vile hii institution ya Neema haifanyi kazi. Naonaga mkubwa ni Mkolino lakini yamelala sana. Makelele ni part of pollution. Angalia zamani ungeenda kwa mahospitali ulikuwa unaona unaandikiwa hapo hata kama una delay. No hooting, no what. Boda kui inapita kwa hospitali. Baka pale Kenyatta, enda pale Kenyatta hospital uone. Inapita hapo hospitali yote inatetemeka. Kuna hii exhaust na inanunuliwa pesa.
Francis, wacha nikuulize. Ungependa nini kifanyike?
Nikiuliza huyo chairman ajue vile atakutana na serikali wasaidie kucontrol hizi makelele ziko na bodaboda. For example, mimi nakaa hapa Tasia. Unajua huku kwa Silamu ndio ziko mingi sana. Inapitanga. Unasikia hata watoto kwa neighbor wote wameamuka kabisa kulia.
Sawa, asante Francis.
Ile magari ziko na alamu zinaanza kupiga alamu usiku.
Asante sana Francis. Tutauliza chairman vile watafanya kuhusu hayo.
Ndio wahusia akona point mzuri leo. Watu wa association pia na NTSA and the government tunapatana aje. Kuna kola mwingine Jeff on the line. Jeff, unaonaje maneno ya hii bill?
Hello. Nilikuwa nasema.
Endelea, tunakusikia. Kama tumempoteza.
It's
okay. We also had some boda riders speak about the bill and tell us what they think about it. We went out into the... Oh, Jeff bado kwa line. I don't think tunampata. It's okay. Let's listen to some boda riders and their view on this proposed bill.
Nilipoingia kwa idara ya pikipiki kwa mwana bodaboda, kuna zile changamoto fulani kufanya kupitia, si kuingia tu hivi. Hata mwenyewe kabla niingie nilijua ya kwamba kuna zile stakabadhi nafaa nikuwa nazo kabla nianze kuingia kwa mambo ya bodaboda. So nilifanya kwanza kwenda training ya gari, labda nikafanya training ya pikipiki. So nikakuwa niko full driving license ya gari. Kwanza challenge ni hao watu wa magari mshana kwa njia. Challenge nyingine ni pale polisi anapokushika anakufikiria ni kama wewe ni mwalimu kila wakati. In direct sense hii sekta inasaidia sana. So inabidi wakati mwingine unafanya kana kwamba ni kama revenge.
So mara mingi unaweza beba customer kama ni late night maybe ama hata kama ni during the day, and then ukifikisha customer umshikisha badala ya kulipe ana demand umpe pikipiki yako, na wakati kama huo kama atakutolea kitu kama bunduki then unafanya tu surrender, pikipiki yako inaenda.
Shida yetu sana ni boda license iko juu sana, driving wanaribisha usani. Hiyo ndio tunataka tuangushie hiyo license sana. So kama mnaweza tetea kama JSM tuangushie hiyo license iko sawa.
Element saa nyingine ukiwa na element moja customer anakataa. Anasema kama mshahara na customer mwingine hawezi kukubali kuivaa tena, anasema haifai. Kwa hiyo anakataa kuivaa. Sasa unapoenda bila element kwa customer unaweza kushikwa na polisi, customer ndio amekataa hiyo.
Many issues have come up there. The cost of compliance, their safety, interacting with, of course, drivers on the road, police harassment, mambo ni mingi.
I've not heard them saying them not following the law, but okay.
But yes, we'll get to that.
Okay.
We have a caller on the line before a drop off. Akona swali muhimu. Wacha tusikize.
Jeff, good morning.
Good morning, Latif.
Asante sana for calling.
Thank you.
What's your contribution to this conversation?
First of all, I will wish to register the good job that the Boda does. Secondly, let's be honest about these people. I think it's a cartel or other system that has been they have generated over time that is actually doing more harm than good. Truthfully, these laws have been there and they have been existing for the longest time. It's only the difference comes in implementation of them. Like you were saying, Latif, in the morning, that yes, the laws have been in existence, and you're even disputing, even as you're disputing, because these laws have been in existence. But who goes to the book and implements them? Bodas are just the chaos we have in Kenya and even in our systems of the road. If you drive and the police is even near you, the boda might go even on the wrong side as the policeman is watching. Why? Because it's their system. That's where the police make their money from. Secondly, there is just regulation in terms of wording, but in terms of ground, there is no regulation. These people, they self-regulate themselves. There isn't much you can follow up on them because, first of all, these people, you don't have even the actual statistics to know who is who or rather where they are. With them, they are having an organization which is truthfully right. They have it running in terms of words, but on the ground, there is an organization they are just as good as dead. Why am I saying so? In case of an incident, let's say you get hurt by a boda or whatever, or let's say you're like there was I got scratched in Moranga, you have no way even to follow up on a person because even if you go to the next stage and ask for someone like Nanya Menigonga, you have no one who want to be responsible for it. What does it tell you? They are not measured. They are not managed. They are just managed in towns and they are just managed in offices. Like the guy is here just to there's a face value for a boda, but on the ground there is nothing.
Jeff, what's your fix?
Yes.
Propose
My
a fix.
fix is,
Yes.
I wish the system in Kenya could work like the one that is in Rwanda. The Ministry of Transport to have, let's say, an extra lane for these people totally. We never have to deal with them on the main road. Those pathways to be created and to be fully implemented. Let them even have their own traffic police who can run them fully.
Okay.
It will help because, for example, if you go, let's say, along Mombasa Road, there's a lane along the airport that has been created purely for pedestrians. But you find the bodas using that road.
Okay.
Tell me the essence of now them being in that pedestrian road while it's purely meant for the pedestrian. But you'll find the bodas there.
Okay. Good points made. Thank you, Jeff.
Hi. Kevin,
your
thoughts and reactions.
Okay.
First of all, he says, it's a cartel, basically.
I don't know what he means by that, but that is up to him. But what we are doing is that we have a Boda information management system, which we are collecting data of Boda, his county, his name, his telephone number, the next of kin, the sub-county, the ward, and the stage he is operating from. And the system is out and people are registering. When you dial *789 *2025#, you will be registered onto the platform.
Say it again, star?
*789 *2025#. It collects all your data, and through that you can access, this is a challenge that has been there, and there's always a challenge and there is a way to solve them. We found this problem there and we are trying to bring some solution to it. And what is needed is just the support. And those who are part of the discussion of our yesterday National Summit meeting, where we said that you want to register all the bodas in the country. So in case someone knocks you down, and you see the number plate, you can easily track it. Like right now, if someone knocks you down and you get the number plate, you go to search at NTSA, you'll find it is still reading the dealer, the supply of that motorcycle, because they have not done the transfer. So you are stuck there. How can you help? And that is the government doing that, and they are not able to follow it up. But we as an organization have said that so long as a motorcycle is on the road, we must know the rider and the real owner of that motorcycle. That's what the system asks. Okay. The rider and the real owner. So that in case you miss the rider, you can go for the owner. And if you miss the rider, you can go for the next of kin to tell you where is this rider. So those are some of the changes that we are trying to bring into the sector to bring the sanity on our roads.
So this *789 *2025#, is it for passenger? Is it for the rider? Who?
For
both? For both.
No, for the rider.
For the rider.
Yeah, for the rider to get registered, to be identified. And that's what we are pushing with the government, to make sure that all these people are identified. Because at the moment, we cannot differentiate between a rider and a thug. Like those guys that were following the president the other day, with the motorbikes that were making a lot of noise. And we asked the government to arrest, and by yesterday I got a report they arrested around 15 of them. Those bikes with the big exhaust pipe that are making a lot of noise and stealing from people. Those were not Boda riders.
So for passengers, then how do we check? What's our platform to
Okay,
check?
we are setting up your platform where you can just enter the bike number for the rider, then it gives you this guy is registered. That is it. We cannot give you much of the information, but it can just be as a confirmation.
And can
the
you
system
report
can do
incidents
that.
as well?
Yes.
Okay.
You can report the incidences.
On the same platform?
Yes.
Okay, but it's not up yet?
No, it is working. It is working when you just dial star 789 star
2025 hash.
hash.
But that's the one for registering riders, yeah?
Yeah, it for report crime. Number 5.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Or you can go
Yeah,
there
you can
and also
easily
check.
report, have been bagged by the motorcycle number, blah, blah. We can easily trace it for you.
Okay.
Wherever it is, we can be able to channel. So we are making things easier. We have to start from somewhere.
It takes a bit of time.
Yeah, there was a challenge, and we are trying to sort out the challenges.
Okay. We have another caller, Njoroge, on the line. Njoroge, what's your question or your contribution?
Naweza tumia Kiswahili.
Sawa, ina shida.
Dennis Njoroge kutoka Meru. Hello.
Tunakusikia, endelea.
So kwa hii sekta ya pikipiki, unakuta mtu amenunua pikipiki, amepea kijana. So anagoja pesa yake jioni. So kijana akitokezea na pikipiki, mwenyewe atajua kijana ameenda wapi, ameenda kufanya nini. So unakuta watu ndio wako reckless driving. Unakuta watu kama ndio anything ikihappen, bora tu apate limiti yake jioni apelekea mwenye pikipiki. So unakuta pikipiki in case imekosa accident, jamaa mwenye kona pikipiki atapotea cha pikipiki hapo. Huyo jamaa amepatiwa pikipiki unakuta labda ni hata under age. So pikipiki kutrack hiyo mtu inakuwa ni ngumu. Nadhani ikifika kwenye za manage kama ni license, ipa mtu pikipiki akuwe na license yake, details zake unakuwa nazo. At least anaweza jaribu control sekta ya pikipiki. Somehow age limit mtaangalia kitu sana.
Asante Dennis, tumekupata. I think Kevin alikuwa he had addressed a number of those things.
There's need for better and tighter regulation.
Yes.
And you've also agreed on this.
Yes.
Because then you'd know, like in matatus, the matatu owner may not be necessarily the one who's driving this matatu.
Yeah.
But because the matatu owner is part of a SACCO, then the SACCO also knows who is driving this matatu, who's the conductor for this matatu at any time. And if there's an infraction, NTSA knows this is where we are going.
Yes.
They are registered this way. I remember Matiang'i and his PS Kibicho had started this conversation about putting you people into SACCOs.
SACCOs, yes. And we are doing that, and almost... we are having so many SACCOs at the ward levels, at the sub-county levels, at the stage levels. The SACCOs are there. And we are just...
Are they registered with NTSA?
Okay, most of the SACCOs, we registered the cooperative, but they are not yet registered by the NTSA because they said you have to self-regulate at where you are operating from. So they are forming SACCOs are there. When you go to most places, you'll find that they have their SACCOs and their groups, and we as an organization, we are monitoring who is the chairman of that SACCO and what are they doing.
Why are they not registering with NTSA?
It is a process to register with the NTSA because NTSA, they said you have to apply and all those other issues. And we know we have some other people in Mashinani there, they cannot be able to reach to Nairobi. I think the SACCO that have been able to register with the NTSA, there are very few that's close to Nairobi. But others in the other villages, it's still a tricky thing.
There's a conversation that's happening online on this one. It's a debate between Josiah and Alfred, and I see what they're saying. They say the key thing that needs to be done for Bodas is to follow road regulations in Kenya. We have over 1 million riders on the road every day. Wafuate Sharia. Alfred comes and says this can only start with a deliberate behavioral change campaign involving training as 90% of these riders have no formal driving school training.
Yeah, true.
Secondly, forming them into governable organized groups with identity and socioeconomic empowerment all requires political goodwill, which is hard to get when these bodas are used as the political animators.
Yes.
Josiah comes and says, look, I'm listening to this conversation while I'm in traffic and bodas are riding in every space that you see.
And you see, when this expressway was being built, you know the reason why you alight your car and use a motorcycle is that you want to go where you're going faster, isn't it? Some people leave their cars on the road with the driver, they jump on a motorcycle because they are getting late. Yep. So I wrote a letter to the Director General of Kenya and CS Minister of Transport when this road was being constructed. And you see, I was asking for 1.5 meter lane, because they were demolishing the underground road before as they were building the other one. So I said when they'll be recarpeting the normal road, let them give us only 1.5 meter space on that road. They said no, we'll look into it in the future. So I was wondering, which future will this road be constructed again?
Who did you write to?
I wrote to the Director General of Kenya and the CS Minister of Transport.
And you actually got a response that this will be in future planning.
It will be in the future plan. So I was wondering which future plan, yet we are here and the motorcycles are here. And the reason you see these guys going wrong side, trying to pass through your cars and in the traffic, they're trying to get you where you are going faster. And the client is telling them, let's go faster, I'm late. So where will they pass? Do you want them to queue? And the guy said, okay, the motorcycle is a vehicle, so you have also to queue. So why should you leave your car to come and queue in the traffic jam? So I think the understanding of these guys is not sharp. Because I was in Cameroon the other day, and Cameroon is an underdeveloped country compared to Kenya. But they have a lane straight from the airport to town dedicated for the Boda riders. You can see it clearly marked. Why can't we do it here? Yet we are very far away from such like countries. You see, so I think people in the office, they need to open up their mind and see the Boda is here and is here to stay, and we need to give them space. That's why you heard the other guy saying they are competing with the pedestrian, because that's the only place they can see a path. But if you just get 1.5 meters, which is very small, there will be no chaos, there will be no accident, there will be nothing.
All right.
We need to develop.
We're running out of time, but there's something I wanted to touch on. Bodas and crime, and how do we fix it?
Yes.
Yeah, whether it's the person on a Boda coming and snatching your phone, all the way down to no mobilization. You see people following politicians around. Why are Bodas so easily co-opted into crime, and how do we fix it?
You see, criminals, sometimes back they used to run on foot, they used to escape with the cars. But nowadays, because of traffic and because of ease to access a motorcycle, it is easier for someone to buy a motorcycle, come snatch your pouch here at the NTV down here, then disappears to Mulolongo or wherever and keep that bike there for the next 2 weeks without coming out. So you'll never see them. So these people, the criminals that we have been having for a long time using other means, they opted the motorcycle because the easiest escape route. But what we are doing as an organization is now registration. We want to register every bike on the road. If once all these bikes are registered, it is easier to track and trace those guys wherever they will be. Number two,
at which point are you registering them? Is it from the point of sale? Is it from I'm a rider, then I come and bring myself? Because if it's riders registering themselves, you can see how, obviously if I'm a criminal, I won't register.
The criminals won't register. And that's why we are saying that if we find that your motorcycle is not registered on the road and we are suspecting you, because we have had so many cases in Kilimani where riders used to come from Madare, from the other areas and come and steal in Kilimani and go. So we have also tasked the people that operate in those areas, the chairmen of those areas, the riders in the bases that they are, to monitor who is there, who is coming to stand there. Is he someone you know? Is he a Boda rider as you? If you find that when you are questioning him and he doesn't give you the right answers, then we have spoken to the police. The riders have the mandate to arrest, because in the law we have civilian arrest. So the rider can arrest, call the police so that the police now can follow up and know who is this guy. So those are the areas that we can collaborate with the security agencies to weed out these criminals. And that is our target, that we are going to deal with the criminals that are hiding into the Boda through registration, through self-monitoring, and see who is around us. Yeah.
So it seems like all of this streamlining is ongoing.
Yes.
What are some of the goals? What do you hope to achieve, at least like by the end of this year?
I think once we come together the way we are discussing with our members, to just weed out the criminals that are using motorcycles to tarnish our name. Because there's no way someone who knows, I know you know there are some riders who stand here every day. You know them. There's no way that person will snatch your pouch here and run away, or your phone and run away. Because tomorrow he has to come back here. That's where he gets his bread. So the criminals that are using the motorcycle are the ones that we are dealing with in partnership with the police and all other agencies that are looking into the matters of safety and security in this country.
Kevin,
yes.
In a minute, the Director of Road Safety, NTSA,
yes,
Dr. Andrew Kiplagat, is coming to sit where you're seated.
Yes.
What question would you like us to ask him? Or what message would you like us to give him?
Okay, the message you should give him, just tell him that the Boda sector is ready and willing to work with them to make sure that we champion and streamline the Boda sector in this country. And he has our full support as an organization, as the leadership of Boda in the country, that we are going to make sure, it's not, even controlling people is not easy. I know even here in your staffs, you have some cheeky guys who do this. You tell them come at 8 a.m., they come at 9 a.m. So we have challenges controlling people, but we hope and pray that we are going to achieve our dreams, and we are going to stand with him. We'll support him to achieve his dreams.
Kevin Mubadi, Boda National Chairman of the Boda Association of Kenya, has been our guest. Today we are starting the journey of fixing the Boda sector, and that's why we've had him. And next is the Director of Safety at NTSA, who's coming up next. It's 8 a.m. Keep it here on Nation FM, on NTV, and on all our digital platforms. Back shortly, fixing the nation, one conversation at a time.